What's up YouTube? Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another beautiful but cold morning out here in Arizona. As you can see, we already got the hood propped open on the EcoBeast. We're out here filming another video, another project. Yes, my engine bay is extremely dirty. It's okay. I'll eventually clean it, probably do a video over it, but not right now. It's too cold. So today's video is going to be all about the intake here. Got the aFe Power Magnum Force 2 intake, and we got to clean this guy here. It's been probably about 40,000 miles. Way overdue. As you can see, it's dark, dingy. It's supposed to be light, shiny, and gray, but it's not. So I bought some cleaner from my mptperformance.com just for this guy. But before we take this in the garage and get that going, we of course got to take it out. It should be real simple. These guys are just held on with two clips, one on this side, one on the back side, which is already undone. So that'll let us lift up on it just a little bit. So I'm just going to simply unscrew this with a little flathead, and we'll be able to have a little bit of clearance to pull this intake cone off. So as you saw in the time lapse there, guys, I couldn't get it out with just that little bit of clearance. I actually had to undo the top two hoses here, or the top two clamps, but that finally gave us enough clearance just to lift up on it and take out the intake cone. And now, as you guys can see, it's extremely dirty to say the least. Dark, all kinds of dirt, bugs, whatnot, and it's supposed to be something similar to that. So let's take this inside to the garage where it's nice and warm, and let's get cleaning. Alright guys, now that we are back in the garage where it's nice and warm, matter of fact, as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff going on my workbench right now. These are actually the rear trailing arms to my brother's Civic, the Civic project that we got going on, as well as just some bushings and whatnot, and that's the turbo we're going to be installing eventually. If you guys haven't seen that or seen those videos, I'll put a quick link up here in the top and below of that playlist so you guys can get caught up on that. So for the purpose of this video, I actually have here the aFe cleaner kit, the Magnum Flow cleaner kit. This is the part number here, 90-5 quadruple 9. There's two different part numbers, or two different kits, because there's two different types of intake cones. This one here is the dry intake cone, so I didn't need any oil with it, just a cleaner. So that's what we have here. This is the contents of that kit. You get the main cleaner with the squirt bottle and some extra here just so you can top off if you need to, and of course the directions itself. It's extremely simple, guys. They make it real easy with these air filters here. Pretty much all we're going to do is soak this, spray it all the way around, make sure it's all nice evenly coated and saturated. The enzymes and whatnot inside this cleaner will then break down and try to dissolve some of that dust. And once we get that, we're going to wait for about 10-15 minutes or so, and then come back out here, take it to the water hose, and pretty much just rinse it off. So it's literally that simple. Actually, guys, before we get to the time lapse, first things first, go ahead and just kind of give your air intake cone a tap on some object gently to knock off some of the loose dirt. As you can see here, a lot of dirt, grime, and bugs are falling off. So we'll get majority of those out before we actually start the spraying. So I tapped for about 5 minutes or so, and as you guys can see, or maybe you can or cannot, but there is a whole bunch of crud, bugs, and dust that I've tapped all the way around the truck. I shouldn't have did that. Now I got to clean off the truck, but it's all right. So we got most of it off. So now it's time to go ahead and start spraying. Alright guys, so as you saw there with that long time lapse, I was not stingy whatsoever, was not conservative. I literally applied this guy, used about half of the spray bottle on it, which is perfectly fine because this stuff is extremely cheap, it's extremely affordable, and you really do want to use as much as you possibly can. They even give you the directions if you want to. You can put a little bowl or a pan, fill it with an inch of this cleaner, and then just literally dip the entire filter into that bowl, pretty much saying that they want this thing fully saturated, fully covered with this cleaner to really get the best results. So now that we're done spraying, I'm gonna go ahead and let this guy sit here for about 10-15 minutes, then we'll come back outside and we'll get it rinsed off. So guys, came back out to the garage and came back to this surprise here. As you can see, the cleaner really did do a pretty good job even without rinsing it off. I had the filter sitting here and it leaked all the way out, and what used to be nice bright green is now dark, dirty, and dingy. So should be good to go. We're gonna go ahead and take it over to the water hose and we're gonna rinse this guy out. Alright guys, so now it's real simple. All we're gonna do is with low pressure go ahead and rinse this out from the clean side to the dirty side, which means from the inside out, and we should see most of this dirt starting to come off. So I'll go ahead and throw you guys on a time lapse and we'll get rinsing. And just like that guys, we are nice and clean. Not too sure if you could see it from the beginning of the time lapse, but it was really coming out dark, dingy, and green a little bit from the cleaner. And now, pretty much can't tell the difference from the inside color to the outside color, which pretty much means that this was a success and this guy is nice and clean now. So now that we got this guy nice and cleaned up and pretty much almost ready to go, the very last thing we have to do guys is obviously have to let it dry before we actually put it back into the vehicle. Taking a step back, this guy is a dry filter, so I don't have to oil it. Now if you do have the regular filter or whatever you want to call it, it's actually a blue one in color. That one actually will require an extra step, which will be letting it dry and then applying a layer of oil to it. But once again, we don't have to worry about that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna set this guy right here. I'll probably bring over my powerful shop fan over there, let it blow over this. They don't want you to put this in direct sunlight. They don't want you to use heat or use high pressure air. So just kind of let it naturally dry. And with the little shop fan, that'll just help decrease the drying time. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just set this here and let it go. So we'll just let that guy dry out probably for about a couple hours or so. Then we'll come back out, check it, and if it's good to go, then we'll get installing. So see you right back out here shortly. Alright guys, and just like that, this guy is now fully dry, ready to go be installed. So let's go do that. So to simply install it, we're gonna get that clearance. I haven't put the hoses back on quite yet, so I'm gonna lift this up just to get it up and under. Then slide this back over the top, just like that. Go ahead and screw it in, or screw on the worm gear. There you go, that's that part. And we'll fish it back in to its spot. Connect up our hoses. This may take a little bit of finagling. Pick up the bit I dropped. And last but not least, put on your latches side, and we're good to go. And just like that guys, you are now done. You've successfully taken out, cleaned, and restored your engine air filter for your aFe Power Magnum Force 2 intake. So we're good to go. I'm not going to say you're going to have any noticeable gains right off the back or whatsoever, but it's just something you have to do to maintain and maintenance your air filter. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching Everything Avon. We'll see y'all in the next one.